Your music is bad. And you should feel bad. With Matt and Blake, here's this thing. We
Perfect. I
talk
want to
about
use that.
Jeff today. One of the
Yes.
Jeffs,
Yeah. So
Loomis.
right. So the big news is Jeff Loomis is free as a bird. He left Arch Enemy. Jeff Loomis is a guitar player primarily known for being in Nevermore and then sort of doing some like solo like because there was a point there where like Nevermore was done, but he was like even more, he's got bigger online because of he posted video like a demo video for a pickup company and gets a million views, whatever. So he just became like a guitar guy for a few years, and like he did this one album with a
Doesn't help that
literal
everybody in
YouTuber.
Nevermore died,
Well, they hadn't yet, but they
but
had.
they were
Spoiler
gonna.
alert. Yeah, they well, one guy,
Two
one
guys,
guy, two guys.
two guys that were in the later uh, incarnation of Nevermore died. The drummer also, or maybe bassist.
Van Williams is still alive.
Must be a
Did
different guy there. I forgot. There were definitely two guys when I
there's
was
I
reading the
think one of the
Wikipedia.
earlier guys
Or Wiki,
died, like one
yeah.
of the earlier second guitar players, but
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Look, somebody died
I
outside of
think so.
Worrell.
Jeff Loomis, guitar player, we was talking about this whole episode, and Van Williams, the drummer, are definitely still alive, and
Okay.
they're doing something together,
Oh
which was
well.
posted even before he left Arch Enemy, and it was like,
Well,
so that's cool. I think Jim Shepard, the bass player, is still alive. Warrell Dane, unfortunately, singer, is not. So
some would say unfortunately, some would have different opinions.
definitely, unfortunately, uh, because he was like 50. Like, don't it just you
No,
just 'cause
I
you don't
know.
like his singing.
Yes, it's awful that he died too early and all that, but
Yeah, but I mean that's
he's
what
not
happens when you
singing anymore, so that's good.
that's what happens when you keep doing drugs after numerous health problems.
Yeah.
So all right, first let's focus on the news, and then we'll get into we have a bunch of like tangential stuff. The only thing
Tim
that
Calvert died. I
yeah, he was one of
wikied
the
it. There you
early.
go.
I think he's the original one of the original. Might have been the first other guitar player. But yeah, he passed away. So Jeff has been in Arch Enemy for years. Arch Enemy at one
9
point
years, I
was
believe.
like a death metal band. I have a hard time even calling them that now because it's so like death and roll. It's
I really
so
want to call them power metal. For me,
it's
Arch Enemy was an accessible, maybe death metal band when Angela was there,
mm,
and then she was not, and then the I don't know, with Alyssa and whatever else, they became more and more accessible, and it's just
yeah, it just got
power chords
totally
and
right, totally
simple
uninteresting.
songs.
It's
It's
like
it's power
pop
metal. It's
metal
power metal.
with it's like pop metal with death metal vocals, which
Yeah,
basically yeah would be like power metal if it weren't for the lack of clean vocals. But yeah,
it's
which
still
is
power metal. Given what
boring,
we call power metal these days,
right?
it's power metal.
Yes. But literally the only thing that makes death metal initially death metal is the vocals. So therefore, if it's only death vocals, something death adjacent or something. So anyway, that's how I see it. But yeah,
Good enough.
basically, I didn't listen to any Arch Enemy for this. I know their progression. They were considered like real good death metal band at some point back in the day. Angela came in, they got a little more mainstream, but still interesting. And uh she was fairly like pioneering as a woman doing death metal vocals. And and Alyssa is actually a very good vocalist. It's just that she joined the band and it got less good. And also some of the like annoying drama they've had seems to directly be related to her too. So it doesn't seem like so anyway, but
That's a whole topic that we
Jeff
could
Loomis,
probably leave alone.
if you don't know, Jeff Loomis is a super technical guitar player, and Nevermore is like riffs and shredding. And then he joins Arch Enemy, and they just have him playing like 20-second butt rock solos. Like, there's got to be some track. I don't know. I did not do the research on this. I would not be surprised if there's at least one track somewhere that like some fan actually there's this song where they gave him like longer to solo and he like shredded a little. but I don't know what it is, and I've never heard it.
I heard a lot of butt
And
rock solos in my limited research. It was nothing doing anything interesting, nothing special.
yeah,
Eh.
and he does like a lot of whammy stuff, but it's like they even told him to keep it simple. I know he doesn't write anything because it's the other dude's band, the other guitar players, his band. He writes everything. Jeff is the stunt guitarist, but then they don't let him do any stunts, and so it's weird. He was in the band for a long time, but I understand that they were very famous and it helped him a lot. I'm sure career, but he put in his time, and hopefully now he's like enough of that crap. Uh, I saw them. Well, I didn't so much see them as they were at Heavy Montreal when I was there in 2015. And we didn't really try to see Arch Enemy, but they were on one of the bigger stages. And so we happened to be like nearby getting food when they were playing. So we heard some of them. Again, I literally didn't see them. I heard some of them. And I just remember the guitar solos with the like, the like crazy whammy stuff and being like, okay, is that all you have him doing? And then like the song keeps going. And you're like, okay, why do you have Jeff Loomis in the band? But they did, and now they don't, and that's fantastic news for everybody.
So the question is, what's Jeff gonna do? Is he gonna make his own band? Is he gonna join up with somebody? Has he
Well,
been writing? Do we know?
he he has he's been doing something with Van, which who knows, that could be something totally new, or they could try to do like Nevermore with a different vocalist. They were the two who left Nevermore. Like when Nevermore sort of broke up, what happened was Jeff and Van left. I believe so everything I know is internet message board hearsay, but I was on the Nevermore forum
Or
quite
the
a bit
Wikipedia?
back in the day. And what I remember happening was Worrell and Jim, I believe, both got sober because they had health issues. And so part of the rift that formed was that they couldn't party no more,
Mm,
but
that's a
Jeff and
real
Van
problem.
could still party and still wanted to party. There was also I don't like all I like was like on the forums and sometimes on the IRC
Oh,
channel.
fuck.
And I
He didn't
remember
sing out, did he? That'd be awful.
he did not you cannot say on a
You'd
forum
post
on
clips.
IRC channel, and it would have been fantastic if he had. He's a fantastic singer.
Awful singer.
So
Just the worst.
he's very good at singing.
No. Very good at singing. Badly.
Literally very
Hey.
good at singing.
I hate him.
Uh,
Hated him.
I understand. It's not for everybody, but he is, however, very good at the thing that he does. And so one of the best metal vocalists of all time. Uh, and
For me
so,
to poop on.
and sure. So they split. There was rumors that like Jim and World were going to keep going with like different guitar players, something different drums, but that didn't really come together. Uh, but he said World said something about like Jeff wanted to go be like a guitar hero or something, and I was like, how does he do that by leaving the band? I mean, but then it kind of made sense. He did all this like instrumental guitar stuff for a minute. He did Conquering Dystopia is this instrumental album he did with Keith Merrow, who is a YouTube guitar player. But I was like, there's got to be something else this dude did, right? Like and I looked it up and like, no, no, no. He's just like one of the earlier YouTube guitar players, but at no point was asked to do anything else. And then he didn't really do anything as far as I know after that album. Like, I don't, he posts on YouTube still, but like not as much. But like, I don't know that he has a band or anything. So I don't know
I
why
didn't
Jeff did
even
this
look it
album with
up. I
him.
apologize. I didn't
Oh
do
no,
that
that's
part of my
fine.
homework,
You
but
really don't
it
need to.
sounded
Again, we don't
dumb.
have to have listened to the same thing on this. I just had a few. It inspired me to listen to a few things and have new opinions on them. Although some of those were the same opinions, which in the case of that, it not like it just sounds like an album of riffs and like I can't tell. Like I can sometimes tell when it's Jeff, but I can't always tell when it's not Jeff because anything that Keith plays apparently sounds like Jeff, but maybe not as good. And so he probably has like good tone. He probably like that's probably the reason that this dude was like successful on YouTube is he just probably has had like good metal tone or something. And so that's a reason
People
people be
have
like,
gone a
okay, sure,
long
why not?
way on good metal tone.
Yeah, if you
I mean,
if you're on YouTube when there's not a lot of very early, guitar YouTube too. This is like I think he's one of the first generation of like
Oh
Guys
God.
who got a fucking signature model because they were on YouTube. Because for the longest time, I even assumed he had some other thing going on, which he does not. But that album is like it's got cool riffs and stuff, and it sounds good. But then it just gets boring because it doesn't really go anywhere, and it's kind of like it's instrumental guitar music, but just like it just again, it just sounds like a long YouTube demo. And like, here's the new
Mm.
guitar, here's the new pickup, and it's like it works with Jeff's thing, but like this guy doesn't have his own thing that isn't just like Jeff's thing. Uh, so I listened to that again. That was really all that I took away from it.
Well, that's good. I listened to some more Arch Enemy because I don't know, I'm a glutton for punishment. Um,
Yep.
and I listened to what was it? Oh God, I forgot all the albums from Nevermore because I
Oh yeah. Well, so I remember you didn't like Dreaming Neon Black, and you didn't well you liked a little bit of Dead Heart in a Dead World. That was the one you had like heard already.
I think it's because there were some songs on it. A lot
Yeah.
of Nevermore. So we don't need to get into like genre discussions again, or we could.
Well, I could
But
tell you exactly what. Yeah. Like.
yeah, so here's the thing. I like I like thrash metal. I like speed metal. I like punk music. I like uh, sweaty, stinky dudes in a basement playing really loud and fast and making a lot of noise. When they release albums, they're like 20 to 30 minutes. Nevermore made those kind of albums with the saddest sad boy wailing over them, and they made the albums an hour long with
So.
every single slider on the board turned all the way up, and uh, they were bad albums.
so
They were not good to listen to. They were
so
exhausting.
well so that's I don't know
Am I
what.
wrong?
Yes, you're definitely wrong, but I can look, I can appreciate.
Explain
Okay, I'm
how I'm
gonna try
wrong.
to give you. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give you a little bit of understanding for this. They again, so Dead Heart and Dead World is when they get more accessible and more listenable if you're not used to
There were
like
songs
they're
with
from.
song
Keep in mind
structure.
they're from the '90s, and so like the production is like a metal band in the '90s who didn't have a lot of
Dream Theater
money,
had good metal
and
albums from the
they
90s.
had
Look at
Dream
Awake.
Theater had more. Well, okay, so Dream Theater had uh it's about producers though. So as soon as Nevermore got Andy Sneap, that's when
Yep.
the stuff sounded better.
Right.
And they did although even then the thing is Dead Heart in a Dead World sounds good in spite of like the shitty sounds of stuff because they didn't use like a real seven string. He had like a six string guitar that somebody had like attached an extra tuner to, and he made like a half ass seven string. And so it has that awful farty 90s seven string tone. But
Sure.
what Andy Sneap is good at is EQing the fuck out of metal albums to make them sound good. I believe, let me make sure I'm not talking out of my ass about this.
Never happened. It's fine.
Um,
I'm glad somebody EQ'd some of these albums because it felt like the first three or whatever I listened to had no
they are
mixing.
hard. They're very harsh. The early albums are rough in that way.
They're
Um,
exhausting.
but so I can see that. I can see that. But Dead Heart gets better. Enemies of Reality, they had to remix because
I read that because it was so
it
bad.
was really muddy and bad, and they got Andy Sneap to remix it, and then now it's like listenable. But that's why I didn't like point to that one.
Right.
This Godless Endeavor is the album that I think sounds good. Like
Yeah, it
that's I
sounded
think
good.
the one that sounds the best. Not like it was forced into sounding good. It's like, and like you said, it's easier to listen to, but it still has good tones and stuff.
So I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing if those earlier albums had any kind of actual mixing where it wasn't just all of the things, all volume, all the time, if some of the songs would have sounded like songs. Because Godless Endeavor had songs that did stuff. They had hooks and bridges and the chorus, all of this stuff. They were songs. They had structure.
Yeah.
Whereas the
So
other stuff was just thrash
right.
for
Well,
like
there are
seven
songs in there.
minutes.
So like they're a long. Okay, so arguably I would classify them at least early on as like progressive thrash, right? Uh, it's kind of like thrash, but then again, the songs are longer. There's more extra riffs and crap. And the interesting thing, the thing that makes Nevermore interesting overall is that they were like aggressive enough that if it wasn't for Whirl, like they'd probably just be a death metal band. Like if they didn't have a singer, it would just be death metal because that's the kind of like the riffs and the aggressiveness. And so they're in a very unique band in that not only for being aggressive but melodic, but being very dissonant and yet still
Yeah,
having melodic
there's a lot of dissonance.
vocals.
That's a fact.
But that's the thing that they do well. Again, later on they did less of
Well,
it. As it goes on, they get more melodic. They basically by the time Dead Heart comes around, I mean, Believe in Nothing is like it has like three power ballads on that
well, yeah,
album.
believe it. Yeah, that's
But so it makes sense. It's progression of most bands. They got more accessible as time went on. But like if you say like it's kind of like I'd maybe consider it's like compare it to earlier like Fate's Warning, where it's those albums are real hard to listen to like sonically, although I think Nevermore's sound better than that. But there's some cool stuff in there, but it's like almost too proggy, and if you just want straightforward songs, it's there's way less of that. And then later on, there's a little more straightforward. Like by the time you get to like Parallels, it's like those are the hits, right?
sure.
With Fate's
That's fair.
Warning versus like Awaken the Guardian is like all over the place with the riffs and stuff. But Nevermore. So like I didn't get into the earlier stuff until I had to learn some of it when I was in Mirror Black, and we did this Sacrament, which is a good song
I know
off
you did River
Politics of
Dragon,
Ecstasy. Yeah, River Dragon is on Dead
which was
Heart.
an okay song.
The so
Threw me a bit at first,
there's
but
good
I
stuff
got
on
there.
there's good stuff on Politics. Dreaming Neon Black probably has the best of the like super dissonant, but they made it work because it's not like Whirl has like formal training, but I'm sure he's still not like writing down what notes Jeff's playing or whatever. So he's doing it by ear. So considering he's doing it by ear, he did an extremely good job. And there's a few like I Dreaming Neon Black took a long time to grow on me too because it's so harsh and dissonant. But it's like if you want a really dissonant metal album that works, that's and it still has melodic vocals despite the melodies being basically atonal or like extremely modal. That's 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 the only band basically. That's like them, Spiral Architect,
I was just gonna
maybe.
say Spiral Architect,
Again, some of the early
which I
Arch
like much better.
Fates Warning. Uh but that's in that same zone. So uh but that's the thing. I liked pretty much the whole range of their stuff, and it took me longer to get into the earlier stuff. But Dead Heart, Enemies, and This Godless Endeavor all have really good stuff on them. There's some tracks on all their albums that I'm not as into, whatever. But like the good stuff is good. But yeah, the early stuff, this it's not as like songwriting. It's more prog thrash, like more riffs and whatever. Um, but if you don't
I
like
don't
World,
know
you're gonna
that
have a bad
thrash
time.
works well with Prague, at least in this format.
It's not so
I
much like Prague. Well,
well,
maybe a little. I
no,
mean, there's probably a
I
little bit
get
of
that
improvement,
there's
but
the complicated time signatures and
which there isn't
things of that
actually that
nature.
much of that. It's more about strange syncopation and stuff like that.
Sure,
Uh,
but I don't think any of that sound worked in long format. I think the songs need to be shorter. I think the albums need to be shorter because it's too much to try to wrap your head around, listen to, struggle with for 5, 6, 8, 9 minutes. It's difficult and not in a pleasant way. There are things that are difficult in that, oh, I sit here and chew on this. When that production was so bad, you can't chew on it because it just hurts.
I
I
understand what you're
don't want
saying.
to chew
Yeah,
on tinfoil for 10 minutes.
I understand. The early albums, yeah, they have that. They're kind of rough sounding, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, I still like a good handful of stuff off all the early, except for like maybe the self-titled, like their very first album. I haven't listened to as
Didn't
much,
listen to that.
but the last one, I for this particular uh one of the things I decided to listen to just as an excuse with this podcast is I listened to their last album, The Obsidian Conspiracy, which I had never really given more than like a couple spins. And it's because, although honestly, now I wonder if you might like it more. Well, no, probably not. Okay, I'll tell you why. So
Because Worrell's on it.
they really toned it down on that one. Um, the producer, who's one of the original Soilwork guys,
Saw that.
told them to like it made Jeff cut the songs down to where they were real straightforward and leave more room for Worrell. The problem is, A, leave more room for Worrell. You won't like that. But the thing is, even on that album, I don't even like a lot of what Worrell's doing because it's like becoming self-parody. Like the lyrics, like, okay, you don't like the sad boy lyrics, fine. But some of them are like really good sad boy lyrics. And then, like you said, you also like don't like the world is it's the world's so fucked up, man. Like that's the theme of a lot of the stuff too. Fair,
Like
but like
95% of
some
it.
of them, when he nails it, it's really good. Some of it's very cheesy, a little cringe. And again, this last album in particular was just like he was just like going back to the well, and it was like, yeah, this is all the same ideas, just like said dumber. But I also have a feeling that was like a contractual obligation album. Like I feel like it was probably their last on their contract with Century Media, and then they broke up after that. And so it makes sense that like they were just like, let's just get it out. And the only kind of sad thing about that is that I was listening to it now, and you know, after listening to it again, it's like it's listenable. It's not awful. It's better than like a worse band would do, but it's like definitely the weakest of their stuff. But if you want less of the like whatever, if that's part of the what bothered you, you might
No, I
like it
like the
better than
diggity
that.
diggity. It
Okay, so you
was
just don't.
where it was a mess with the
Yeah,
diggity diggity. That doesn't work. And also,
I
as
can hear some of that. There's
hammer it to hell with
literally
the Worrell thing, but
there's one song on Enemies of Reality where like there's a track messed up. It's like so syncopated, and then one track clearly like slides out of alignment, and like even in the remix or whatever, they couldn't completely fix it. So it's like you can still hear it in there where it just
they
gets
should have
off time, and then it
abandoned
kind of
it.
like
Sorry.
snaps back together, and you're like, man, it's just but yeah, so they're a great band. So
Hey,
like
did you ever see the, I guess they did a live or a video thing or something like, were they, uh, how were they live? Were
yeah,
they
so I
tight?
saw them a
Were
couple
they
times. One time I saw them, I believe was when Worrell was like recovering from all his substance stuff, and so he was a little rough. But they were a pretty solid, tight live band, and they had a good string of. So like early on with Tim Calvert, there were two guitar players, but then after that, it was usually just Jeff and like a touring second guitarist. So for a while, they had Chris Broderick. He was really good. Like I don't think he contributed to any of the writing, but he's like technically about as good as you can get, and so he was great on tour. And then this Godless Endeavor, they had, oh my God, why am I blanking on this guy? Oh, Steve Smith with a Y, or Steve Smythe,
not the
maybe.
football player?
Right. So he actually wrote a lot on that album, and it was a lot more like, oh, maybe this guy can actually stick around with us and be permanent part of the lineup because he actually contributed some of the songs.
And then the band was over.
And then the band was well, he wasn't on the last one either though, so he left anyway for other. I don't know what the
Saw the writing on the wall,
but
maybe.
maybe because apparently if they were having interpersonal stuff at that point, and like half the band can't party and is pissed the other half can,
Didn't
like,
was it Worrell that had a wife or a girlfriend or whoever
oh
disappeared?
yeah, so dreaming neon black. I was gonna make some joke about like, oh, so insensitive of you to say that, but no. Dreaming neon black is about he had a girlfriend who was in a cult, and then she disappeared with the cult, and so Dreaming neon black is about that. And you know, it's good, you got to get a good album out of that shit.
Oof.
And
Well, it's better
but
than Tom's divorce score in
yeah,
Evergrey, at least.
yeah, I mean,
All right.
what do you
So
do?
we talked about Nevermore and Loomis and all this. That's cool. A thing I kept kind of bringing up was there's a band, Communic. I don't know
Oh yeah,
exactly
yeah,
how you're supposed to say their name. I really like this band.
mm.
I realized there are strong parallels here. You said that
Yeah,
people
they
seem to
were.
refer to them
They
as
definitely
Nevermore Light.
were. Yeah. Well, I always say light and or diet to be mildly derogatory to a band that I consider to be a little bit of a clone, but
Fair,
not like they're bad, but like although from my memory, I haven't listened to them in a while and I didn't listen to them again for this,
fair.
but my memory was that they were a little less busy, a little less because obviously I like that in Nevermore because I'm a guitar player and I like when the guitar goes
Sure, fair.
and nobody writes a riff with too many notes like Jeff.
Can we argue
Um
that Nevermore had no groove?
no, they have some groove. There's times when they
Hmm.
groove. Yeah.
I
They're
I
very
didn't
when
hear it.
they
I didn't get anything of
but
that
there's
like out of it.
syncopation in the groove. It's not necessarily just that's the thing. Like Communion probably is more groovy because it's more straightforward. It's more straight ahead than Nevermore. But then that's why Nevermore is interesting and unique
I
and
suppose.
not just a bunch of other metal bands.
Also, the different guys singing, which
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Which again, that guy didn't do as much for me as Whirl. So
it's
Whirl's
I guess it's
Whirl's
fair. Not
fantastic.
everybody can like the same things, but boy, I didn't like Nevermore very much.
A
And
lot
Communic's a good
of
band,
my
and they're still around.
yeah,
So
a lot of my favorite singers with maybe well no even the ones who are like recognized like even like Jeff Tate's recognized to be an incredibly good singer but then there's a lot of people who just like no they don't want to hear that kind of
well,
singing
those
at
people are
all
wrong,
ever.
though. That's
Okay, but
just
that's what I would say to you about World, but I
yeah,
also
but that's
understand
there's that's
he's a
objective versus
harder to get
subjective,
into.
and Jeff
He's
is
like the dissonant Jeff Tate basically. Like
ooh,
Andy wasn't really a dick relative to Jeff Tate. He's even way more of a chill
but like
guy.
I don't for the most part I don't know how well dissonant vocals
But
make
he
good listenable
but
music.
he except that there's plenty of not dissonant stuff. There's plenty of melodic stuff,
Right.
especially as the catalog goes on. But what I'm saying is that for that he they did something that again is very rare, and even the other examples I would name don't do it in the same way. So like they're a very unique band in that way. It's kind of like again if you just had a harsh vocalist, they would easily be a death metal band. Like nobody would even be like, "This is empowered." But no, it would be like totally a death metal band if they just had a guy going like screaming or growling, or whatever. And some people probably even prefer that, right? Because that ends up in a very weird
Me,
niche. Yeah,
that would have been better.
even you. And uh, but they had like, oh, what was my point? Um, you were arguing like if the dissonance is good or not. Well, that's the thing. So that was their early edgier stuff, and then it totally smoothed out. I mean, by the time you get to Godless Endeavor, it's like not there's not much of like you compared the I think Dreaming Neon Black has a few songs that are like the peak of the dissonant thing, which I especially say because when I first tried to get into Nevermore, I didn't like it, and I was like, those are some just weird dissonant notes. But I listen to it now, and I hear how it works and the tension, and it's like if I want to listen to that kind of thing, that's like the only place to get it. And with a little bit of exception, like there's a little bit of like maybe like I mean, even Pain of Salvation has some stuff where they use intentional, really dissonant harmonies and stuff like that. It's just
Can't
they were
think of
trying to
any
do that
times where it
all the
didn't
time,
work though with them and every
a little,
I
but
maybe
also
it's just
maybe you just don't
I
like
don't like Whirl.
overly dissonant music.
That's true. That's probably true.
But it's fine. It's fine. You don't like Whirl. He's still fantastic. And but
I
again,
did
I
notice.
get it. Like
I
people
don't know
say,
on Godless
yeah,
a lot more like multi-tracking and backup vocals. There was
yeah.
very clear a lot of
It's
attention
that is
paid.
easily the best sounding album, I think, and that's why I recommended it because I was like, if you just want one that's easy to
Sure,
listen to, has like clearly a lot of songs too. Like I feel like in terms of like of appropriate length, although it has the
it
uh
ended with a 7 and then
oh,
nine
and you
minute
know what
song. I
though?
think
I don't really like the long title, this Godless Endeavor title track. I don't even like know it because I just didn't listen to it that much.
that's funny because that
Uh
sounded more like earlier Nevermore to me than
Probably. Well,
listening
again,
to it.
but again, because it's not as
It's
it's
not as
not
much
as
of a song.
the
It's just a
structure.
lot of
Yeah, the structure's a little
for
more
10
all over the
minutes.
place. And yeah, I do like the contrast to that is
Like the first song, Born, I think, was very good. I like
mhm.
Born,
All right,
but it
well,
was immediately a bunch of things that I found a lot more listenable while still having good technical guitar and some
yes.
thrashy stuff. But it was still a song, and
So
that was a lot better.
Sentient 6 is 7 minutes long, but it's a
That one was
clear,
okay.
it's a certain, like, it's again, that's a prog kind of model song where it starts off very slow and then builds
That's
up and
true.
blah, blah, blah. And it's also a sequel. It's a sequel to a song from Politics of Ecstasy, The Learning. The Learning is about an AI, and then Sentient Six is like after learning is it's become sentient. Sentient Six is sentient, and then it like kills everybody like Skynet or whatever. But
Like they
but
do.
it's but it's a very different track for them because it's got like the piano and stuff. But yeah, I actually like this the actual title track. This guy never I never listened to that. In contrast, I actually like the Dead Heart in a Dead World title track because it's obviously
Yeah,
it's the
that's
title
okay.
track. I'd say
It's
it's
okay.
it's kind of a longish track, but I like that one a lot more. Uh, and that was actually only 5 minutes long though, so maybe that's why because it's not as overblown. I mean, I can see why like Dead Heart is mostly around 4 to 6 minutes, and
And I'm not opposed to long songs when they work, but they can't be exhausting song uh types song structure, but they can't sonically aurally exhausting for 10 minutes is I can't listen to this anymore. I have to go listen to something else.
is that
You
because
know?
is that mostly coming from like where did you feel like you had that like on was it Dreaming Neon Black or Politics of Ecstasy?
Probably ecstasy, but I'm
Okay.
not quite sure.
Yeah, I can see
Like I
not
said,
being
they muddled
as
together. Maybe
yeah.
is
Well,
part of the
those
problem too.
two are more similar. That's the early stuff. Like okay, so let me give you an example. Like I don't actually, again, I don't even the song "The Politics of Ecstasy." I'm not as into. It's longer one. It's 8 minutes. But it doesn't because it doesn't hold up. Like it's not as like you said. It's there's there's less like memorable melodies in it. Um,
Hooks.
yeah. It really doesn't have the hooks.
You gotta have some hooks. Songs gotta have some hooks.
Seven tongues of God and the sacrament have some hooks. Next in line, not so much, but it has a riff. Like that's a lot of like some of the Nevermore stuff, especially the early stuff, may not have a hook as much, but it has a riff. And so that's something to keep in mind. Dreamy Neon Black. There's like the last track forever. I don't think I ever even like some of the long tracks. I don't think I ever even got into as much, but Dreamy Neon Black, The Death of Passion, I Am the Dog, and Poison God Machine. Those are all really good, very dissonant, potentially unpleasant to listen to songs. Except that that's what you want, and then it fucking rules. It's the best fucking thing. Nobody else
If
can
you
touch
want it.
that shit.
If you want it.
Everything else like so it
That's fair. I understand.
they are a band that I didn't get into as aggressively. I had friends because I had friends. They're from Seattle, so they're sort of like Queensryche adjacent.
I've read about they started off as part of like the grunge scene. They were, I think, called Sanctuary or something like that.
No, Sanctuary is like a even less grungy band. That was the '80s band that Whirl was in. Uh,
Weren't they kind of like I thought? I've maybe
it
I've
is
read the
not is
Wikipedia
not
wrong, but
grungy. It is more thrashy and more I think well actually I don't know would you like it less because there's World doing more like super high stuff.
I'd probably like that better.
You might like that better, which is weird because it's almost like less tasteful, but I guess you could see it's a different direction.
Oh no,
um
Sanctuary, according to Wikipedia, which was pressured by its
yeah,
recording label to change its musical style, switching from heavy metal to grunge, which blah, 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 blah.
yeah, they were
Then
not
Whirl and Jim Shepard said, "No, fuck this," and left. And so that's what
yeah.
happened.
Oh, maybe they wanted to switch to yeah, but like
There we go.
and I think Jeff Loomis actually was in Sanctuary for like 5 minutes at the very end, and then they left to start Nevermore with him, and then they got kind of more aggressive and they already knew they weren't going to be like a main because Sanctuary, I think like almost those bands came
Oop,
in too
ignore
late in
that.
the
I was trying
80s.
checking on my phone to see if I had any Sanctuary, which I think I do, and I shouldn't have listened to.
There's some decent stuff. Well, if you do listen to them, we can talk about them. There's some decent stuff. I don't like it as much as Nevermore. There's a few really good tracks. Whirl also reunited with them
I have,
for a minute.
surprisingly, the Mirror Black. That's it. That's
That
the one
so
thing, the one song. That's
right,
probably why.
yeah, because it was named after
Right.
this song off of their second album, Into the Mirror Black. Um, which we also did a song. We did a Sanctuary cover, Future Tense. We did River Dragon and We Disintegrate off of Dead Heart, and we did This Sacrament off of Politics of Ecstasy. Because I didn't get into Politics of Ecstasy until I learned that song, and I was like, this is a sick riff. And This Sacrament actually has like um kind of a chorus, and it's more of a like a what you might call like a good song, I guess is what you want to say. uh
The song that
but
like is a song.
yeah, exactly, and but yeah, I don't know.
That's right. I want a little elements of butt rock sprinkled in on top
There's
of
more, the
the
later you
thrash
go,
prog.
the more that it's like, the more butt rock shows up, the more like Jeff's true butt rock like origins start to show, which I actually love because you get all these like 7 string power ballads and shit. Like right, everyone does like Believe in Nothing has got to be their most like covered song. You know, they're this
It's
super
easily the most
aggressive,
accessible out of
this
any of the
fucking
earlier stuff.
well, it's not even early. That's the thing. That's the transition point. That's 2000.
Well,
And
okay, fire.
it is 100% a butt rock power ballad that just
Yes.
happens to be played on the 7 string. It's like one because I didn't realize this until I learned the guitar parts, and then I'm like I learned the like clean part, the acoustic part, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a fucking butt rock power. How did I? What the? This is there's nothing like weird. It's just super like I don't
It's
know.
kind of a
It's
Queensryche
like
song to bring
yeah,
that back in.
exactly.
It
No,
really, really
exactly.
is.
It's like Queensryche, but 7 string. Yeah, like that's so again. It's exactly, you nailed it. And there's three power ballads on Heart Collector, Believe in Nothing. I think maybe I would maybe call Insignificant also maybe a power ballad. Like those like three of them on that album. And then as you go on, like there at least one per album. There's at least one who decides is that? No, Tomorrow Turned Into Yesterday. That's the Enemies of Reality power ballad. And then This Godless Endeavor, I think, is Sell My Heart for Stones is maybe the fucking, but there's like
That
one on
sounds
every album.
right.
There's just like a fucking straight up fucking power ballad, which again, I enjoy a power ballad. And so therefore, certain people I know who are big fans of the band, those are the songs they hate. And
Of
then there are
course,
other fans of the
obviously.
band who like that's their favorite, the again, Believe in Nothing is like a lot of people's favorite song, which is a great song, but it's also like obvious one, like a hit
Yes,
practically.
right.
So I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, I think there's a lot more the Skyless Endeavor, like I feel like you can kind of actually listen to the first like really, I don't think that the end it kind of maybe drags a little, but like it's a pretty solid like front
I
two
might
thirds
give
of the
that one
album on that
another
one.
listen just because, and or the stuff after it that I didn't get to
Mhm.
at all because
And
I had it homework.
there's good songs on Enemies of Reality. There's a few that I don't get into as much, but there's a few that I really like. I mean, again, I don't know. It's like they're not like one of those bands where I'm like every song on every album is the fucking best. It's just that when they did stuff good, it was stuff that you didn't really hear anywhere else. Or like the other, I'll give you another example of like a sort of a band in the similar style, but that absolutely doesn't touch a lot of the stuff they did, which is the good albums from Mercenary,
Mm,
Danish, uh,
I
uh,
don't think I've listened to
similar
Mercenary at
band
all.
where like if it wasn't, it's kind of melodic. They actually have death metal vocals, but they also have a lot of melodic vocals, and they do a lot of like like layering them because they had. I only listened to 2 albums from them, uh, and those are 11 Dreams, and The Hours That Remain. And those both have the same lead singer, and the bass player, who was one of the main guys in the band, also did like a lot of vocals too. And so they would layer them, sometimes melodic, sometimes aggressive, sometimes one of each, sometimes like both kind of doing death, but one would be like a higher register, one a lower register. That's the thing that makes that band possibly the most unique, but they're a lot more straightforward in the material, but it's similar in that it's the same kind of like low tuning. I don't know if they use seven strings, but it's the same. It's like, I think, tuned to B or something.
Are they still
And
around, or was this just
they
a
are,
short-lived thing?
but none of the guys on from the good stuff are in it anymore. They like a
Fair.
totally different lineup of no original members, or at least none I know of. And then the unfortunate thing is that the guys from the good era were going to start a new band during the pandemic, and it was going to be called Fire Soul, which is one of the tracks off of 11 Dreams. And you're like, oh, you're naming it off a good song from a good album. It's going to be good. And then they started posting stuff on Facebook. Like, it was taking forever. And I was like, oh, come on, man. I want this band. It's going to be great. And then they started posting stuff like, never believe the science. And I was like, the fuck? God damn
Oh,
it. Yeah, they went fucking chuddy and like don't take vaccines and stuff. Like, god damn it. Like, so that band's fucking worthless now.
yeah. Well, never mind. I was gonna look them up, but now I won't.
But
That's
those two Mercenary albums, uh 11 Dreams, The Hours That Remain, I can send you those titles if you want, but those are fucking great. And they
Oh, you're right.
are,
It's you said there's different guys in the original. Yeah, so
yeah,
that might
yeah.
be. I might have to check that out. It sounds interesting,
Those
at
two
least.
albums, and those are from like the period, like that was like when they were like, because like they played Brock Power. Uh and 11 Dreams is partially about 9/11, but not like, but again, but it does somehow doesn't, like, there's nothing on it that makes you go like, oh god, like, no, that's the weird thing about it. It's more, it just seems like they were like, it was a historic event that like not like, maybe it's because they're Danish and so that doesn't translate, but like there's no like line about jet fuel melting steel beams. There's nothing like that. It doesn't seem conspiratorial. It might be, but if they did, if it is, then like they wrote it ambiguously enough that I don't
Oh
notice it.
God.
But maybe that was the whole time. But like, it doesn't seem like it. It
Uh,
just seems like it's like, this is bad, and like, but also it almost seemed like there was, I don't know, it's ambiguous enough. It doesn't matter. It's melodic but heavy, and it's cool. And you might even like it better because it's definitely not oral. But
could couldn't hurt.
but yeah. So that was I.
Oh, good conspiracy theories. That's my favorite. Oh
Well, like, I
God.
didn't even think of it as conspiracy theory related. It just sounded like it was about how 9/11 was bad, like the songs that reference it. Uh,
Fair.
or again, too ambiguous for me to tell what their point is. Like, there's a song called let me see if I'm remembering it right.
Is it like sometimes when you can't tell if Queensryche wants to lick boots or smash the patriarchy?
Right. Exactly. It's just ambiguous enough where you're like, I
Wait a
think,
minute.
you
You're
know,
so angry,
uh,
but who are you angry at?
right.
Just
So there's
everyone?
obviously the song 11 Dreams, and then there's a song called World Hate Center. But I don't know what that means. I don't know who's doing the hating. Is it that it was bad and so it's, or was it that it was bad that they attacked it? Like, I don't know. But that's like, it's not like, I don't think it's concept album or anything. There's all kinds of other weird shit on it that's just more generic, like
I mean, I'll listen to it. I'll
death
listen
metal.
to most
It is
things,
fucking
and
great.
but
Uh, those two albums are fantastic. I still listen to them. Yeah, even in the Wikipedia, they're compared to like Nevermore, In Flames, Soilwork, Sentenced. See, those are all death metal bands, I
well, In
think.
Flames used to be.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
Always have to throw
exactly.
that in.
And so, but that's for example, these death metal bands who then like pivoted to having all these melodic choruses, but they suck because the guys don't sing melodic stuff well. And even like Soilwork, where like he's like adequate, but like it's still just, it's fine, it's whatever. But like,
Fair.
but Nevermore had like a unique, again, so unique. It's that same thing as like, again, a lot of my favorite singers like Geddy Lee. Um, who else is like? frequently people will be like, "Oh yeah, I fucking hate that guy." I'm like, you know what? That's fair. Fine if you don't like him. That's okay. But part of why I like them is because they're so unique. And if you're that unique and influential, some amount of people are just going to hate you anyway and not like the thing you're doing.
It
Because if the thing
it reminds
wasn't
me of a joke.
distinct,
It
okay,
reminds
what's
me of
the
one of
joke?
my
Yeah.
oldest, most favorite jokes. How do you catch a unique rabbit?
How?
Unique up on him.
Oh.
How do you catch a tame rabbit?
Uh.
Tame way, unique up on it.
And we. Oh my god, that's a real bit. Oh man, that wasn't what I was expecting. That was quite a joke. Quite a joke.
I'd apologize, but I'm not sorry.
It's fine. I know you are.
That's a classic. You can use that. It's allowed. I didn't write it.
Don't worry, I won't. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to say other than, I mean, again, I wouldn't, if you don't like, again, I know other people who I like share a lot of musical interests with. They don't like World. Oh, the other, what am I thinking of? Pain of Salvation. That's the other obvious one that people will just be like, I just don't like what this band is doing. And I'm like, I respect your right to think that, even though you're wrong. And but again, it's fine. It's weird and unique, and it's got if it wasn't if it was like fucking I don't
I
know
never found
Sabaton or
Pen of
something.
Salvation weird at all.
Really?
Ever.
Oh, they're pretty fucking weird. They're pretty fucking
I mean,
unique
I've listened
band.
to a good amount of crazy prog shit too, but like I like Spiral Architect unreservedly. Found them listenable. I, World's something about it is just so grating. It might have been the combination of all the sad boy world hates me bullshit
Maybe.
along with
Hmm.
the dissonant vocals that it just turns it into, and then on top of the exhausting songs that
Yeah,
it's just a bad package for
I
me. That
wouldn't.
might be all the
Yeah,
things.
I definitely don't think Dreaming, Neon Black, or Politics of Ecstasy are probably what you'd want to be like. If you like you said, Dead Heart, Godless Endeavor, and I would give if you suddenly liked those enough that you wanted to listen to more of the stuff that you liked from those, then Enemies of Reality. Pretty much those three albums are what I would recommend someone with your inclinations. But again, if you don't like World, then fuck it, don't listen
Proclivities.
to it. It's fine. It's like
I
sometimes you
probably
just don't
won't.
like a singer, even if you know. So that's fine, whatever. But he is a legend in his own time. And uh
What are you gonna do?
but
Oh
don't
my god.
if you have certain health issues, you should probably not do cocaine anymore. Is all I'm saying.
What do you have? Diabetes?
I think he
Type
had
two
like
diabetes. I want to say
a pancreas thing,
that
a
could have been related.
pancreatitis or
That those
something.
can all
And so
flow
then he
together.
like yeah, and so I think there were other things too. I think it was like complications from stuff. Like so he stopped drinking for a while, whatever, but then he died, he OD'd
Oh,
in yeah, doing coke in Brazil. So
oh,
he was living in Brazil. He had a Brazilian band for his solo stuff, and I think some of the guy like after doing the Sanctuary stuff, I think he was maybe doing another solo album. He has two solo albums, which are all, oh yeah, you wouldn't want to, but they're if his solo albums are for if you like him and you don't like the Jeff Loomis super notey riffy kind of thing because just a little it's like it is also like Diet Nevermore. It's like
sure.
lighter on that aspect but still with Worrell, and the lyrics are still going to be
I'm
sad
not gonna listen to that at all.
suit like the government is bad and stuff, but like he's in that it's almost like conspiracy theory, but like only up until like where it is probably correct. Like there's a song about his friend getting locked up for like weed possession or something and how that is
Well,
kind
that's
of
the
bullshit.
whole.
And
Yeah,
so generally
it's not
like
really conspiracy.
there's a
It's
lot
just the
of
government was
like
fucked.
they say stuff like some of it's I don't know I don't know I understand some criticisms of him that I think it's like it's actually a feature, not a bug. It's just like, yeah, that's what you get. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it don't work so good. And it is what it is.
That's fair.
And uh Yeah, I mean, shit, I'm
Good enough.
surprised. I'm
Good
surprised I'm
enough.
listening to Nevermore right now.
Wow, it's almost
I
certainly
love
not going to
Nevermore.
happen.
It's good. It's they're a band I like more. I have only continued to like them more and more over time. And like so, like so it was one of those rare bands that I surprised didn't like warm up to as quickly as much as I ended up liking them. Like I think I listened to Dead Heart a bunch when it came out, but I was still like, yeah, they're decent, hit or miss, whatever. And then like at some point when I had to learn those songs,
I was going to say, I suspect this has got a lot to do with you learning and playing them. I think
well,
maybe
that's
more
what
of the
kind of like
musicians think.
acclimated me to them. But then I appreciate the music uh for what it is, for again, for kind of a unique I didn't even realize kind of how unique it was at the time and how little there is that is in that name. It's the same thing with like Queensryche. There's like not a lot of there's bands that kind of came after Queensryche that kind of tried to do a Queensryche-ish thing, but like there's not a lot of Queensryche like bands. There's a few that you could be like, okay, well, Crimson Glory, obviously, and so there's a few adjacent ones, but they're not quite the same thing. And then it's like what influence did carry on also got like swallowed up by say like Dream Theater or something. And so I don't know, like
Fair enough. Fair enough. Did we ever hear anything about why he left Arch Enemy? Because they're still rolling. They've right away with new guitarists, et cetera, et
I
cetera.
we could speculate wildly. Yeah,
I
and they
didn't know
had
if we had
they
any
had a replacement
rumors
ready to
or
go, which I think it was the same kind of it might have been like
like
it
Kiko.
almost seemed like Kiko, yeah, where he was like, here, use this guy, and they were like, oh yeah, great. And that dude, I wasn't familiar with him. He's played in a bunch of bands, but it's that kind of thing. He's like a guy who's been hired in a lot of bands that needed to replace their guitar
Well, if
player.
you're replacing a stunt guitarist, it's not really the big,
I
especially a stunt guitarist that doesn't get to do stunts.
I would strongly wager that he had enough money from it and enough clout that he was just bored and it was time to do something else. And he felt like he did his time and it was, I was surprised he wasn't bored from the fucking minute he joined that band. And so which is why I would not all be surprised if he finally was like, you know what, it's
I think a
time.
lot of us do boring stuff for money. It's
Yeah, he did it for a
what
long
work is
time
about.
though. And
A lot
again,
of people
well,
work
yeah,
places.
but
Wouldn't go to work if they didn't pay me. It's
sure,
fucking boring.
sure. But uh look, I've played Nevermore songs. They're fun as shit to play live. That's one of the part of the fun. Like they're fun to play. They're hard to play sometimes, and they rock so fucking hard. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but the latest recent Nevermore is so fucking boring. Uh,
You mean
that was
Arch
my
Enemy?
point. I think. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, Arch Enemy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I knew what you meant.
But
So what? We don't know what he's gonna do. We don't know why he
we know he
left. We
has
don't know
something
what
lined
his.
up. But like, there's not a lot of reason to think. Like, it seemed totally amicable. I think it was just business. He was just like, I did enough of it. How long was he in? He was like 13 years or
9 years. I
something.
thought it
He
was nine
was,
years. Or is that Alyssa?
no,
No, had to be him.
oh, I'm thinking of Portnoy. That's what I'm gonna.
Alyssa was maybe 6 years.
How long? Well, I know he was in the band in 2015 when they were at Heavy Montreal.
That's 8 years.
So, he joined in 2014. Yeah.
That'd be nine
So
years.
he was established from Nevermore. He was doing starting to do some Guitar Hero stuff around that time. I don't know if that was all before he joined or like coinciding with it, but
What if he joined the Agonist?
uh, uh,
Well, because Alyssa left and did boring stuff,
that's
and
true. That's true.
maybe he could leave the boring band and go to the Agonists and make them more relevant because they used to be pretty good. They
Yeah.
tailed off, and Arch Enemy used to be pretty good. They tailed off, so maybe we
Yeah.
can find a way to make one of these bands better again.
I don't know.
That'd be nice.
I hope he does something a with a singer because he did a bunch of again he did the shit after Nevermore where it was just like instrumental stuff, and it's like, look, it doesn't really matter. It's unfortunately the thing about in Nevermore, you can hear like the complete progression of Jeff's style, and even on those last few Nevermore albums, even the good ones, there's clearly like reused ideas where you were like, you did this before. And there's like one guitar solo.
Everyone does it.
There's a guitar solo on Enemies of Reality that is straight up just like a 7 string sweep arpeggio exercise. And I've literally heard people be like, oh, bro, you know what? The good solo, like, that is not a good solo. It's a good exercise. Like, and he moves it around, or whatever. But it's like, that is that was a guitar exercise. You just and once I saw, I was like, oh, that's a good exercise. I should learn that. It's a good arpeggio for 7 strings. But again, I think they're an amazing band, but I still have criticisms, and there's still like weaker tracks and stuff. But he did all this stuff. Like he's a great guitar player, and uh but I don't I'm it's the same kind of thing with Portnoy and Dream Theater. I'm not holding my breath to hear something new from him that I'm gonna like crap my pants over. I would love to hear something good and interesting, and I would probably listen to it because like both the last Nevermore and Conquering Dystopia, when I was listening to them recently, I was like, this is very listenable, even though it was, uh lackluster Nevermore album compared to any of the previous ones, and definitely less sort of fresh ideas. But hey, if you want a more smoothed out, accessible, like the thing that bugged me listening to it again is I realized that in the grand scheme of things, in the band trajectories, if they hadn't broken up, they were probably right about to hit their like keep cranking it out and actually get paid phase, like their blow up, and a lot more people have heard of them, but their favorite album is The Obsidian Conspiracy. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And they've never even heard of Dreaming Neon Black. And they know Dead Hard
It
because
is
Dead
kind
Hard
of
is,
the arc, though.
but
I
that is
mean,
the
you
arc. But the thing was, this was the first time I've ever thought this about band and been like, you know what? I kind of wish that had happened because could have seen him more times. Maybe World wouldn't fucking OD because he wouldn't have been in Brazil going like, man, fuck those guys and let's do some rails. Fucking,
fucking
I don't know.
world.
Probably just doing rails and complaining about his old band, which I mean,
That sounds like it's pretty on brand.
I can understandable. I mean, uh, so the
The guys at karaoke hated me. Good
I,
singer.
I hope he does something cool. And if they did a Nevermore, thing with some new singer, I'd probably check it out. Why not? But
Fair enough.
it's also probably wouldn't. It's definitely in that zone, like Rushed with No Neil, where a lot of people would be like, why would you even try to? He's such a distinct singer. But just for love of the material, I would go see them and check it out. But even if he and Van's a really great drummer too. I should also mention, like that's the thing. They are a really good. They were a really good band and really technically solid. And I only saw him twice, but it was really good. Other than the one time World didn't sound as good, but then the next time I saw them, he sounded better. It was that thing where you like, get healthy. It was that thing too where I think like, he stopped doing drugs and well, he also had the pancreas thing, but like he clearly gained some weight and then he lost it and then he started to sound a little better again. I don't know. It's all
Hey,
the right
who's a
shit.
really good singer? I think still needs full time work and can wail a little bit in sort of the wailing tone, but I don't think I've ever heard him do anything dissonant. I think Howard Jones still needs work.
Hmm, that's possible.
You know what I mean? He's got kind of that wailing tone.
Yeah. Well,
How,
and
how would you feel about a Howard Jones being employed in? Because he's certainly done
yeah,
some of the thrash stuff, a
sure.
lot of that. I
I'd
don't know
check it
who
out.
would play bass with this, but this is I'm just putting together people that are not currently employed but could sound. I would listen. I'll listen to anything with Howard. Howard's fucking fantastic.
Right.
I would listen to that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean,
He
I
just did
would,
more like guest shit with some bullshit rock, radio rock band. So I know he needs work.
yeah, I would definitely check it out. I mean, I think that could be cool. Like, I don't. Well, honestly, like I'm not the biggest like even if they did Nevermore with a different singer, I would still check it out. I have mixed feelings. On the one hand, it's that thing like, no, call it something else. Don't call it Nevermore because it's not the same. But then on the other hand, if they call it Nevermore, then they'll go out and play Nevermore songs. And so then I would go see them because I know that they're going to play stuff I like, even if it's like it feels like a Nevermore tribute band or something, like when you see
I
Queensryche
have in
now.
my head right now Howard Jones singing "Believe in Nothing." It sounds fantastic.
I can
What
see
I'm
it. I can
picturing.
see it working.
I want that to
Um,
happen.
yeah,
This is me trying to uh shit. I lost the word. I want. I'm
manifest
gonna
it.
yes manifest. Thank
Yeah.
you. Words are hard. I'm gonna manifest Howard Jones singing "Believe in Nothing" with Jeff and whoever else. And that will be good for everybody. We should do this.
Yeah.
Howard, come on, everybody, tell Howard
I saw
needs work.
somebody online suggest Dino Jeselnik, who is the guy who
I think I
sang
saw
on
a bunch of stuff of his.
The
Oh,
Michael Romeo solo albums. He's really good because he basically, singing in the style of Russ Allen, but in a way Russ Allen no longer will do. And similar to that, somebody suggested him, although he just joined sorry, it's not Sons of Apollo, it's the two guys from Sons of Apollo since sorry, okay, Sons of Apollo, the one with uh Mike Portnoy, Derek Sherinian, and
oh,
Bumblefoot, and now that and Jeff Scott Soto, but now that Portnoy is back in Dream Theater, Bumblefoot
winery
and
dogs.
no,
No.
that's the other one.
Oh fuck.
The other the Winery Dogs
It's a
is
lot.
Billy Sheehan and Richie Kotzen.
Oh, I
And it's
don't.
even less metal
Too
than
many things.
that one. But Sons of Apollo was also disappointing. They were all not amazing. But it was funny because Derek Shrinian and Bumblefoot started a new band without Mike, but they also ditched Jeff Scott Soto in the process. Like, yeah, fuck that. So I
That's
thought
for
that
the
was funny.
best.
But they got Dino Jeselnik, this guy who's very good on the Michael Romeo albums, and I would almost rather hear him sing Symphony X right now, his early stuff anyway. So that kind of situation. But
Understood.
yeah, I think it'd be great. I'll try to make it. I'm gonna make it seem like we speculated way more about who should sing for Nevermore, so that people will be
Well, yeah.
mad
I
and
mean,
click.
we can continue to do so. I can
I
I
don't know.
can
I
give
don't
you all
really
kinds of
have any
singers that would
other.
be
I
better than
mean,
Worrell because it's literally all of them.
except you can't. You
Ooh,
can't. And also, they first of all, no, but they have to be good enough to be able to sing his parts and then
yeah.
somehow also be better than him. Yeah. See, there. Yeah. Nice try. See,
No, I think that's still
is
almost
not.
all of them.
Oh no, is that? Do you think his stuff's easy to sing?
I didn't say that. I
No,
said there are better ways to sing it,
no, there aren't. You literally cannot.
much better, like
You
in
literally
tune
no, except that it is in tune. It's just the tuning is
is
a dissonant
bad.
modality, and you think it's bad, but it is actually correct for the notes that are being played by
Okay,
everybody else
maybe
in the
he was in
band.
tune. Maybe it's whatever. His tone is
Dissonant. It's not
bad.
out of tune. It's dissonant. Like that's the thing. Angry Metal Guy said the same thing. He's also wrong. So just so you know.
I don't really like to agree with the old
Yeah,
AMG very
exactly.
much, but
That's why I'm gonna let you know that you're it's a very AMG take.
that,
So
it's kind of underhanded.
yeah,
I felt that one
yeah, you
down
walked
below the
into it.
belt,
Yeah.
but bastard. Uh, Especially when we hit the takes like, and then AMG comes out with a stupid take a week or a month later. It's like, cool, good job
Yeah.
at being
Yeah.
slow.
I don't I always gotta also check. I always forget like most of the stuff on the site he doesn't write. So I have to always check who actually wrote it and be like, oh yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
I don't want to go
it could have been
blaming
eldritch elitist
Phil
or
for that when it's like he didn't write it. But he did
whatever.
defend fellowship, so still musically canceled. Whatever.
Just I don't.
Canceled for
I don't want
taste.
to hear that guy sing. That guy it would not be better. I said almost everybody.
Yeah.
He is
No,
not, including.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh my
Um,
god,
all right.
such
Well,
torture.
that's pretty much what I had to say about it. Um,
Fair enough.
what else? I don't know. I kind of gave up on that Japanese power metal band thingy.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it. It's fine.
That's
Have you
fine.
heard the new I'm on a Marth with Biff? Bifford from Saxon, where they're
No.
singing about Vikings and Saxons.
I haven't listened to a new Amon Amarth in a long time because
Fair.
it started to kind of just be like
I'm probably
the
gonna
same
go
thing.
see them
Yeah.
with Cannibal Corpse in May in at the Sylvie. I think so. That sounds at least like a fun show. I haven't seen Cannibal Corpse before either,
Yeah,
so
they'd be
I think
fun to
that'll be
see. I saw
worthwhile.
them. I think I might have seen Amon Amarth. Did I see them the same? Like I've seen them, and I want to. I know I saw them in the same place I saw Nevermore, but I mean, my mind is telling me like it was. I don't know if it was the same night or not. It might have been. It might have been a Gigantour. One of the
Mm,
times I saw them.
there you go.
Um, but they're fun live. But I don't listen to their new stuff because it's like, yeah, I've heard
Well,
that.
yeah, there's that, but yeah, I do need to see them live. Also, a thing we need to talk about at some point, and I acknowledge that this is going to require homework on my part. I have discovered that a genre I like, and I don't know where this came from, is Atmo Black,
Oh,
or as I like to call it, post black metal.
oh, atmosphere. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Post like Death Heaven or
I like I said, I have to do more research on it to actually remember what some of the bands are.
I
I
meant to.
I think that oh shit, oh my god, I've lost all of it. I remember to bring it up, but I forgot everything I wanted to talk about. And I don't know if this is a thing that is popular enough in any of these communities to talk about and get any kind of views or not, but I like it, and I don't know why I like it because I think it might still be kind of boring and songs don't do anything, but I find them pleasant.
Okay. Well, find me like send me some of the stuff you like. I'll
I
check it
had some
out.
stuff. I will have to look it up.
It made me think of I guess I don't know if this is
I think
Atmo
Bork
Black.
counts.
Oh yeah.
I think
Um
somewhat.
it might. The band I was thinking of Death Heaven is there it's not so much Atmo as it's like black gaze.
Hmm.
It's like the black metal
Interesting.
meets shoegaze.
Yeah, it
And
was
at
pretty
one point
easy.
I've been meaning to listen to their most popular album just to I never really gave them a full listen or whatever because it's not something I'm interested in, but it's interesting. I'd like to at some point because it's one of these things where, uh, all the black metal dorks who believe that it needs to be true and unadulterated and bad sounding
Yeah, that's I
hate
think
it.
why I like it because it's not
Not
that
bad sound.
because
Yeah, yeah.
it's got really good
But
production.
and in their case, they got accused of being like hipster metal. But that makes sense if you're mixing like shoegaze
Right.
with it. And so I don't even know. So I don't have like a strong like or dislike on it. It's more interesting because it's both. Oh, the same reason that the metal nerds hate it is the reason it's popular, which is it was actually kind of a novel combination that also just made sense. It was kind of just like there, like, oh, why didn't you combine these two things where they both create soundscapes by picking stuff fast, but it doesn't necessarily require musical structure.
Well, then there's the old argument that black metal is just surf rock.
Yeah, well, that's my buddy Brooks has a band now entirely based around that premise. Well, it's not black metal. It started off as thrash. It was started off as like surf covers of Slayer songs, but now it's an original band. It's basically surf metal, and there's
That gets awfully close to pirate metal if you're not careful.
yeah, but it'll be obvious it's surf more than that. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's all they actually have like original songs and stuff now.
All right.
Um,
I'm gonna do some more digging on that, and maybe we'll talk about it at some point.
Sweet.
I don't. Anyway, all
Exactly.
right, good
All
enough.
right. Good stuff. Like and
Rock and
subscribe.
roll. You
Let
got
us know
her.
in the comments. All that stuff. All
Let
right.
us know whether you or not you'd like Warl and
Yes.
why you have brain damage if you do.
Or if you don't, why your ears are broke. Or well, you don't have to explain that. I'll tell you why your ears are broke. You just tell me what weird mistaken ideas you have about what he's supposedly doing wrong, which is actually
Wait, can
so
we do a
right.
poll? Can you do YouTube video polls?